Nityanandam, this is my mom Ridu once again, and welcome back to Facebook Live. Uh, Before we start today's session, which is about how are we causing our own realities, or how are we the cause of our own realities, of things that happen around us? How do we create situations around us? So before we start, let us chant the Guru Vandanam and then we'll start. Nityanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्य दुर्लक्षम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुतं नमामि. So let me share a little about how we manifest situations around us. Now, most of you would be doubtful about this and said, how do I create situations around us? How am I the cause of what's happening around me? And I'm not the one who creates things around me. Now, it's very simple. What happens inside reflects outside. So if you're having something inside you, it just comes out. So let us work with that basic or that foundation. What happens in the inner space, it reflects outside in the outer space. For example, now some of you could be looking out on how to manifest wealth or money, any form of wealth. But inside, deep down, whenever we meet a rich person or when you hear about someone striking a lottery, what's the first thought that comes to you? Are you really happy that he struck a lottery? Are you really happy that you met a rich guy? No. The first instinct you have is that you're jealous. Like, why does he have and I don't have, and what did he do to deserve it? And he did not vote for it. He does not deserve it. It was mere sheer luck, and anybody else can have it. There's so much of negativity going around with what we want and what we do. So what you want is wealth, but look at what you're doing. You are creating levels of incompletions around wealth. You may want the best in life, but when you see the best happening to others, you do not appreciate it, you do not celebrate it. That's where we don't end up manifesting what we want. Now, for example, let's work on a situation you want to manifest wealth. So the first thing you can do is just remain in the space that you see, many a times we relate wealth to a bit of negativity, to rich people, and we have negative emotions about rich people, and that's why we don't materialize wealth. Now, being rich and having negative qualities are no way related. A rich person, need not necessarily have negative qualities, and we may need not generalize all rich people as uh, who doesn't have a good heart or who's arrogant or is greedy. We need not generalize this, but we end up doing it. Now, because we end up doing all this, we stop things from happening in our lives. Now, let's just sit for a moment and look within, and let's do this for a couple of minutes. Let's now just sit and understand that wealth is wealth and negative qualities are negative qualities. Wealth is something that you can manifest. Wealth is a beautiful thing that can happen to any one of you, and wealth in all aspects, not just in physical wealth, but in terms of knowledge, in terms of power, in terms of anything else that defines wealth. Now let us just sit and let us go within and see where do we actually have a negative connotation towards wealth. Some of you could have exactly the similar thing where when you think of for example, you probably knew someone out there who's rich and you find him snobbish. Now because of that you tend to equate that all rich people are snobbish and all rich people are proud and arrogant and they're not down to earth. But that's not true. You and I deep down know that there are rich people out there who are very humble, very sweet, and very generous. So let's sit and identify similar situations in our life, and very quickly we'll just sit in a meditative state and we'll have to clear all these incompletions from your system so that next time when you see a rich person, you do not have this negative connotation about him or a general perception about rich people. Let's sit for a couple of minutes. Find a situation or a person where you've had similar emotions that he's rich and he's arrogant, or all rich people are arrogant. So let's sit and find that one situation and just sit and relive that situation. Just sit and relive it. And the minute you've identified that situation, the completion has happened for you. So the next time you meet a rich person, you will not feel the same. And your perception about wealth will just improve, and you will create the space to manifest more wealth for yourself. Can we just do this for a couple of minutes? Just sit, recalling incidents of people whom we have spoken to or whom we feel or think that because they are rich, they are not humble, they are not forgiving, they are not generous. Let's find that one person or any incident that you may have created in your lives that created such thoughts in your system. Let's relive this for a few minutes. Now, while you are doing this process, I'm actually sitting down and radiating this energy. Where as soon as you identify a situation where you have this a negative connotation to wealth, it will just get completed or dissolved from your system. So while you're doing this, I'm sending out strong healing energies to each and every one of you who's watching this right now. So that as soon as you pick up the situation, it just gets melted out from your system and you do not have it anymore. Okay? Yep. Okay. And besides, well, there could be many things. For example, if you want to pursue a degree or some education or pursue a higher education, now why do some of you fail and you're not able to move forward? You could have the wealth, you could have the time, but you're not able to move forward because deep down you feel that all educated people are useless. All educated people are ending up with no jobs. So when you have such negative connotation about educated people in terms of a paper qualification, you're obviously not going to get there as well because that's what you feel, that's what you believe in. You may want to pursue an education, your desire is there, but because you believe is on the other side, your belief is totally the opposite. And at the same time, what you actually manifest as life is out of your belief and not out of your desire. You may be putting efforts to manifest what you want. You may be going to colleges, you may be speaking to friends about what's the best qualification to take up. You may be doing all that, you may be taking a loan, all that. But in your inner space, you believe that all educated people of no use. Or all educated people they think too much of themselves, they're proud, they're arrogant. Now, when you have such negative connotations against something, you're actually creating situations where it doesn't happen to you. That means in the end, you will not find what you want. You'll be traveling or moving from one place to the other place, you will not find what you want. So there's so many situations like that, right from wealth to education, so many things. Now, another situation could be another insight that I had in the last couple of days was some of us are filled with a lot of aggression. Okay, some of us are born with it, some of us pick it up along the way, and they feel that being aggressive is good. Being aggressive means I'm able to express my opinion well. Being aggressive means I know how to stand up for myself. Being aggressive means taking things in your hand, and they feel it's the right thing. Now, aggression in a certain way is fine, but aggression in the extent that it destroys your being is of no use to anyone. Let's look within. Are we here to display the aggression, or are we here to display compassion and gentleness? Let's give a thought to it. Are we here to display aggression? Are we here to tell the world I'm here to fight? I'm here to display the strongest negative emotions in the name of rightfulness, in the name of non-violence, in the name of doing the right thing. Let's go within and see. in the end, it's all about what we have within us that manifest outside. If you're finding that you're manifesting situations out there where you constantly get into a fight, you constantly get into situations where people are creating and you end up fighting, you end up making very strong statements. Do you find yourself in such situations? Now, the very reason is because deep inside you, you have the aggressiveness that you want to display those negative emotions, you want to fight. And then you create the situations around you. Now, there are some people who just don't have those such emotions. They're just calm and peaceful, and then they manifest calm and peaceful situations. They do not have people who come around and want to pick a fight with them. They just don't manifest such things. So the trick to all this is what happens inside happens outside. If you want to create wealth, health, a peaceful environment, it all starts from within. It's very easy. All you have to do is go within and change that part of you which is not what you want, and automatically you get what you want. Basically, it's about what you want and what you believe have always been in the opposite direction. That's why we end up not manifesting what we want. The trick is not the trick to get what we want is not what we desire, but what we believe in. It's more depth. What we desire is very at a physical level. Desires at a at the length dimension, a very physical level. But what you believe is something very strong inside. It holds on to your system, and it doesn't allow you to manifest what you desire in outer world because the cognition you're having or the belief that you're having is so strong that it supersedes what you desire. So the only way to overcome all this is to change what you believe, change your belief system. And this is going to be a wonderful process. It will create huge breakthroughs in your system. You will start to attract right situations. You start to attract wealth. You start to attract situations that will help you to grow in life, and it's going to be beautiful. So one of the ways that this can be done for you is if you come for inner awakening. Now, that's a beautiful program that Swamiji Paramahansa Nityananda has. We organize it every once in 2 months, and this is a retreat where you'll be able to experience and heal yourself with all your wrong beliefs, I would call it, negative beliefs that we have carried with us. Because many a time we feel if I drop this belief, what am I going to sustain myself on? It's like a self-sustaining mechanism, which is actually ridiculous. It's not true. You don't need such things to hold you or make you feel that you should survive with it. Drop all your negative cognitions, drop all your negative beliefs, and you will see the doors of heavens opening to you. And to experience more, to have a guru guiding you in this direction, the best thing is to be with him and just sit in his presence to experience. And the minute you get here to the Bangalore Adinam, Nandapeetham in Bidadi, Swamiji takes over and he does everything for you, and you do nothing. You just sit and he does everything for you. It's a beautiful transformational process that you undergo at Inner Awakening or any of our programs. But the most important is the 23 days or 25 days that you spend at Inner Awakening, because this is the time Swamiji works on you in different dimensions, and then you will just flower like a flower, and you're out there to reign the world in the spirit of Sadashiva, in the spirit of Swamiji. So if you have any questions about what we just discussed and shared, please drop a comment and I'll come back to you. Uh, do share my videos, and just one more thing before we end the session. Now I'll be going live on Facebook almost every day at different timings, depending on how my schedule is here, which is quite dynamic and constantly changing. Is to have an online healing session, and that's going to happen so beautifully by just connecting with Swamiji, and the energy is going to flow to each and every one of you out there, no matter where you are, wherever you're sitting remotely, it doesn't matter. The energy is just going to flow to you, and the energy is just going to help you, heal you, cause your realities, make you manifest what you want with no obstacles. It's a beautiful space, and I want to share this with all of you. I want the energies to flow to each and every one of you. So we will have these daily sessions. Do look out for my Facebook announcements, and we'll share the space together so that you all too can manifest what you want. With this, Nityananda.